Nneoma had always been self-conscious about her mother's physical disability. Rachel, Nneoma's mother, had been born with a perfect body, but an unexpected complication during Nneoma's birth had left her with a permanent physical disability. Nneoma didn't know the details of her birth, but she knew her mother's disability made her different. She thought it was embarrassing to have a mom who couldn't walk properly or run like other moms. She wanted her friends to think she came from a normal family. One day, Nneoma's friends were hanging out at the mall when they saw Rachel struggling to walk. Nneoma's friends teased her, saying, "Hey, look. There's your mom, the cripple." Nneoma felt her face burning with embarrassment. She didn't want her friends to know that her mother had a physical disability. In front of her friends, Nneoma denied her mother, saying, "No, that's not my mom. I don't know who that is." Rachel saw Nneoma and tried to approach her, but Nneoma ignored her and walked away. Rachel felt a pang in her heart, but she didn't say anything. She just continued on her way, trying to hold back tears. As the days went by, Nneoma couldn't shake off the feeling of guilt. She saw her mother every day, but she couldn't bring herself to talk to her about what had happened. Rachel tried to reach out to Nneoma, but Nneoma just pushed her away. It wasn't until Nneoma's friends started to distance themselves from her that she realized the gravity of her mistake. They had found out that Nneoma had denied her own mother, and they didn't want to be friends with someone who could be so heartless. Nneoma was alone, and she didn't know how to fix things. She finally worked up the courage to talk to her mother, to apologize and ask for forgiveness. Rachel forgave Nneoma, and then shared the story of Nneoma's birth and how it had changed her life. Nneoma learned that her mother's disability was a result of her own birth, and that Rachel had sacrificed her own body to bring her into the world. She realized that her mother's disability was not something to be ashamed of, but something to be proud of. She was grateful to have a mother like Rachel, who loved her unconditionally and had given so much for her. Nneoma was filled with regret and apologized profusely to her mother. Rachel, seeing the genuine remorse in her daughter's eyes, forgave Nneoma and hugged her tightly. From that day on, Nneoma made a conscious effort to accept and appreciate her mother's disability. She learned about the challenges Rachel faced every day and began to help her in ways she never had before. As Nneoma's attitude changed, so did her relationships with her friends. She realized that true friends accept and love you for who you are, including your family. She started to surround herself with people who appreciated her and her mother. Rachel, seeing the change in Nneoma, felt a sense of pride and joy. She knew that her daughter had finally understood the value of acceptance and love. Years later, Nneoma became an advocate for people with disabilities, inspired by her mother's strength and resilience. She worked tirelessly to promote inclusion and accessibility, making sure that others didn't face the same challenges her mother had. The mother-daughter duo became inseparable, working together to make the world a more inclusive and loving place. They proved that love and acceptance can conquer even the deepest of insecurities, and that a mother's sacrifice can inspire a lifetime of kindness and compassion. Together, Nneoma and Rachel's bond grew stronger. They traveled to different parts of the country, sharing their story and advocating for the rights of people with disabilities. Nneoma learned to see her mother's disability as a strength, rather than a weakness. Together, they founded Embracing Abilities, an organization that aimed to promote inclusion and accessibility in communities around the world. Nneoma was the executive director, and Rachel was the chairperson. Their organization flourished, and soon they were making a real difference in people's lives. Nneoma and Rachel became known as a dynamic duo, using their story to inspire and educate others. Years later, Nneoma looked at her mother with tears in her eyes. "Mom, I'm so sorry for denying you all those years ago," she said. "You're the strongest person I know, and I'm so grateful to have you as my mother." Rachel looked at Nneoma with pride, knowing that her daughter had grown into a compassionate and empathetic person. She realized that her disability had taught Nneoma a valuable lesson, one that would stay with her for the rest of her life. Rachel smiled, her eyes shining with pride. "I'm proud of you too, Nneoma. You've become an amazing woman, and I know that our story will continue to inspire others for generations to come." And so, Nneoma and Rachel continued to work together, spreading love, acceptance, and inclusion to all those around them. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, a testament to the power of forgiveness, love, and acceptance. Moral lesson: acceptance and love can conquer even the deepest of insecurities.